heartfelt and they're sentimental, and by the end of the night, at least 5 seniors have started to cry. I was going to write you all a soppy, emotional, and profound speech using poetic language and powerful metaphors, and then I was like, no. For 2 reasons. One, I had the emotional range of like a teaspoon. And 2, knowing Julie Brunitsky and Mary Hall, the 2 ladies who had given the speeches, who had given their previous speeches, I knew before they even gave their speech that it would be thoughtful, sentimental, heartfelt. It would make at least a couple people cry. It made me cry. Since I knew that their speech was going to be the one to make our mascaras run, I figured that I could take my speech in a different direction. Instead of giving you a beautifully written, eloquently stated speech, I'm just going to share with you a dumb story about myself. Because I have plenty of those to share. I'm going to tell you the story of when I first auditioned for a musical at Holy Cross. In 2010, 11-year-old Lucy decided to audition for Holy Cross's summer stock production of Seussical. For those of you who don't know, back in the olden days of 6 years ago, the theater department would put on a production over the summer, hence the name Summer Stock. They still do Summer Stock here, but now it's more like a children's camp. But back when I used to do it, it went a little differently. That was not a dig, that's literally what it is. In 2010, Summer Stock was essentially 4 weeks of intensive rehearsals that started at 4 p.m. and ended at 10. And at the end of those 4 weeks, we had put together and performed a show. The lead roles were played by professional paid adults, and the ensemble was played by kids ages 10 to 17, I believe. The tech crew was made up of Holy Cross students, and the whole idea was that if your kid auditioned and got in, they would get a taste of professional theater. And I so badly wanted to be in Seussical. My previous experience in the world of theater was at my middle school, which put on predictably middle school quality production. I played Tessie in Annie Jr., and I played the Dodo Bird in Alice in Wonderland. So, needless to say, based on my previous experience, I was a force to be reckoned with. I mean, I walked into the theater and like the guy playing the Cat in the Hat was like, "Ooh, better watch out, she might steal my role." She played the Dodo Bird in Alice in Wonderland Jr. after all, you know? I think the auditions were held in May, and I want to give you some warning here. My audition went monumentally awful. It was a disaster. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it was probably like the worst thing that happened in the history of mankind. Like, it was bad. I don't think everyone realizes how amazing I am to share this story with you, because it really, I've only told 3 people at the school this: Julie Brunitsky, Elise Keenan, and Letitia Kandra. Everybody else, I'm going to tell you now. Alright, so it's May 2010. I get to Holy Cross at 11 a.m. for the auditions, which take place at 11:30, and I walk in the doors and I realize my first mistake right off the bat, which was the outfit I was wearing. For some reason, I thought that an audition for a musical wouldn't include dancing. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. I walked into the theater lobby to see everyone in like jazz shoes or character shoes and like professional like leotards and stuff. And like I specifically remember that one person was just like casually doing the splits. Which like if you ever see a person casually doing the splits, like tell them to go home. Like stop showing. You know? And everybody else was like preparing for the dance part of the audition by doing like stretches that like I was not even flexible enough to attempt. Meanwhile, like I walk in wearing clothes like I couldn't even run in. I still remember every part of the outfit because of the emotional trauma that it inflicted upon me, with my choice of garments. I was wearing a tight holster top, you know, the tween store. It was navy blue, and whenever I moved my arms up above like here, the shirt would start to ride up, and so I was like constantly pulling it down. I was also wearing skinny jeans that I couldn't even like bend over and let alone do the splits in. And for the shoes, I was wearing these cute little black flats that like pinched my toes when I walked and were very painful to wear, but they like were super cute and they like pulled the outfit together, so I wore them. So I was a little nervous. The audition started at 11:30, so I felt content until them to just like sit in a puddle of my own anxiety, which like is super healthy, like really good choice. At 11:30, a tall blonde woman walks into the theater lobby, and she comes in and she's like, "Hi, babies!" Her name is Miss Donna. She was going to be in charge of the auditions, of the dance auditions, and she was going to teach me and the rest of the fashionably dressed dancey kids a short dance. As it turns out, this is gonna shock everybody, I'm not a good dancer. I didn't know this until the auditions, but like once I realized almost immediately. So he teaches us this little routine that was not like really challenging, except for the life of me. Like I couldn't remember like the dance moves, and when I did, like I didn't do them well. So I put myself in the back and like copied everybody in the front. We performed the routine a couple of times, and I swear to you, everybody else was so good at it. Like everybody was so together and they were so perfect. It was like the Rockettes were on stage and like also me, like also I was there. And we performed the routine a couple of times. Yeah, like wait, okay, just before I move on. It's like to put in perspective what I look like compared to everybody else. It was like, you know that person at a wedding who's like doing the cha-cha slide but like doesn't know their lefts from their rights? That's what I looked like. It was like to the left, and they're like, that's what I looked like. I was a mess. Things got from bad to worse when Miss Donna had everyone change lines. So little Lucy was in the very front center with no one to copy. And right before we started, Miss Donna was like, hey, I want to add on one more move at the very end. And the last move was just this, sticking your arms up, whatever, you know, it's fine. And so we begin. And what I do is I look to the side. So I'm like doing the routine and I'm like, you know, like I'm like looking to the side. It was not good. And so we're coming up to the last move, and I'm about to do it when I realize that I can't, because, as I said before, the top that I was wearing, if I move my arms above here, it's gonna ride up. And so, I was already approaching like danger area because I was like doing all of this move. So like my shirt was like already like here, here. And like if I go up any further, like everybody's gonna see my bra. So I was like, so the music ended, and everybody else is like, and I'm like, and surprisingly, it did not go unnoticed. Miss Donna comes up to me and she's like, oh, sweetie, the last dance move, you put your arms up all the way at the end. And I look at her and I'm like, I can't move my arms up any higher. I look like I'm gonna show my bra. And everybody heard. And they started laughing, because I mean, it was funny. Not to me, but to everyone else. But Miss Donna totally like diffused the situation immediately. She was like, stop laughing, nothing fun. There's nothing funny over here, you know what is funny? And then she like made a funny face, and then everybody started like laughing at her funny face instead of my funny shirt. A couple minutes later, the stage manager came down and told Miss Donna that it was time for us to go to the next part of our audition, singing. I would have been a lot more comfortable in the singing part of the audition if I hadn't just come like fresh off the embarrassment of almost like exposing my bra to a group of kids and a fully grown woman. But since I did, I was like ready to jump into a hole. Like I was ready to like to be like, okay, bye, and then like to have the earth swallow me up. We sang the song "It's Possible," which was from the show. We learned the song and it was all fine and well. And then we decided. Then we went from like person to person, and each person like sang a part of the solo. And so it got to my turn, and surprise, surprise, I was like an anxiety-ridden chihuahua at the vet, you know. So I get up there and I sing in front of everybody, and the piano starts playing, and it's like dun, 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 dun. And then I'm like, this might be whole life, it's possible, anything's possible. I nailed it. Like it was not even coherent what I was saying. I left the audition feeling absolutely embarrassed and awful, knowing that I would never get into this program and just feeling like beyond embarrassed. I went home and I cried. And who's laughing? However, the next Tuesday, after the audition, my mom got a call from Holy Cross, and they must have made some type of like clerical mistake because I got in. No, but I like swear it was probably something like they were sitting there and they were like, "Who's Lucy Baker?" And they're like, "Oh, that's the girl that like could do the splits in the theater lobby." Like, let's let her in. That's definitely what happened. So I was in Seussical, and those 4 weeks were unbelievably amazing. I learned so much, and I made friends who I still keep in contact with. Maeve was in it, and Mary Sheff was in it, and they're still my good friends. But over the course, and I did every summer stock production after that, but over the course of doing summer stock shows, I did realize one thing. I did not like performing. After that entire ordeal, I was like, no thanks, no. I would never want to be in the front line when we were doing dances, and I would never audition for the solos if they were like ever offered. I loved the rehearsal process, but I did not like singing and dancing in front of people. During the summer stock production of 2011, which was Footloose, I saw a good friend of mine, Kate Lamoureux. She was doing tech, and I saw how much fun she was having. And I decided, you know, when I become a freshman, for whatever reason, I just decided I'm going to do tech. So in the fall of 2012, I was made a production assistant in The Wiz, and I've never had so much fun doing a show. I've never had so much fun doing a show. I found what I'd love to do. I worked my way up the ladder, and by the spring of sophomore year, I was a stage manager, which is what I've been doing ever since and what I've loved. And after putting together a portfolio and going in for interviews and getting into the programs, it's what I'm going to be majoring in college and hopefully what I'll be able to do for the rest of my life. This theater department and everyone in it has shaped my life in such a positive way and has helped me to discover what I am passionate about. This theater has become a place that I call my second home, and quite literally is my second home because I've definitely spent more hours here than I have like my actual house. I know this speech really doesn't have any like type of flow, it's just like me talking out loud. But I just really want to quickly say to my mom and dad, you guys are gonna miss me when I'm gone. I am the light of your life. No, but for real, thank you for working so hard to give me the best high school experience possible. I haven't cried in 4 years, so everybody sitting down right now is getting like, looking at this. Holy Cross has turned me into the girl who can't lift her arms up above her head, to a confident young woman who knows what she wants to do in life. As I said, I interviewed for The Wiz in 2012, and I was interviewed by Mr. Placek, who I don't see in the audience. Where is he? Where? Oh, is he in? Okay. Is he in the booth? I don't know. He's here. Where? Okay. The last question he asked me, I specifically remember, was, "Why do you love theater?" And I answered with, "'Cause like it's like fun to do. Theater's like super fun. I like it. It's fun. So that's yeah. So eloquent, so beautiful. But I've had 4 years to think over this question, and I finally come up with an answer I'm satisfied with. Mr. Placek, we truly love theater because it is such a unique form of entertainment that cannot exist without live participation from performers, an audience member, and the tech crew who runs the show. No one show can ever be the same or duplicated. And in the age of film, TV, and computer-generated entertainment, it forces live and visceral responses that are of the moment. Spontaneous laughter, unexpected heartbreak, and profound feelings. Live theater, to me, is a wonderful, real living thing. Thank you.